Yeah! Can't steal it! Woo! Wheel and deal it! The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better. I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning. But brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
I'm the man of the hour, the man with the power. You speak to me, scholar.
It's showtime, folks!
Welcome to the Grill Out. From the heart of Shillian, West Virginia, here's your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grill Out. I'm your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty. Episode, where are we at? 47? Episode 47, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 47. And that other voice is none other than Josh Cole. Bye-bye.
I'm here. We are here.
Yes, he has arrived.
We are together.
Jason is nowhere to be found.
Nope.
He is at an undisclosed location, and we don't know exactly where that's at.
He might have something to do with Jesse Ventura.
Well, the funny thing is like, this is the 1 week he's out.
Yeah.
The 1 week he's out is when Jesse Ventura returns and, quote, hell froze over again. So, yes, Jesse Ventura did return to Monday Night
Minnesota.
Raw. Yes, in St. Paul, Minnesota, where he was former governor of Minnesota. This past Monday Night Raw, he was there was a picture of him and CM Punk shaking hands and all of that. He was tweeting while he was there or afterwards or whatever.
Yeah.
He said, quote, Ventura said, quote, hell froze over again with his return. And also, like I said, with the picture between him and Punk shaking hands, he put a caption, why did I come back? For moments like these.
Yeah, there was, I don't know if it was like an interview or him tweeting something later, but basically he said he saw CM Punk go back, so things must have changed.
Yeah. Well, and I think according to some reports that are going out right now, is that Punk's reworking his contract.
Yeah.
To where he's wanting to pretty much stay there permanently.
Forever.
Yes. And the reason why Punk even considered returning was because there's no Vince McMahon there anymore. And which also leads to Jesse Ventura coming back because Ventura and McMahon were not the fondest of each other.
Nope.
Which also, I will say this. It is a testament to Triple H.
Yeah.
Because Ventura is not the only big time like wrestler from back in the day that Vince has had qualms with.
Yeah.
He's brought back. He was able to bring back Bruno Sammartino so he can be inducted into the Hall of Fame. He brought back the Warrior so that he could be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So, you know, Triple H is sort of that bridge that is, how do I put this? He's the bridge for the scars of WWE's past, sort of. Like he's sort of healing the past, WWE's past a little bit.
A part of me thinks if Martha Hart had not done her agreement with AEW, he could almost mend that bridge.
But possibly, but I think that one maybe. But then again, Martha, maybe her qualm is with Vince more, but I don't know. That one would definitely be the hell froze over type because I don't think it's just Vince with that. Yeah. There's still people that work at WWE that were there, you know, during, you know, unfortunately at the time during Owen Hart's death. Yeah. So I don't know. That would be rather impressive if he was able to do that, but I don't know. We'll see, but I will say, I mean, the way AEW has treated Owen Hart's legacy and worked with Martha Hart with the Owen Hart Cup and everything, I think that they're doing a fantastic job over there with it. Yeah. I mean, it's not WWE, but it is, you know, it is a way to honor Owen Hart's legacy that rightfully so should be honored. Yeah. So, but just to, since AEW just got brought up and we're already talking about one McMahon, it was leaked out this past week. Here comes the money. I'll give my thoughts on that here shortly. This was leaked out through WrestleTalk.com.
Exclusive.
It was one of their exclusives that they put out. Quote, following Shane McMahon's meeting with AEW's Tony Khan, it has now been reported he had previously sought a WWE return. Yes. So a picture leaked out of Shane McMahon and Tony Khan having a meeting of sorts with one another. According to Dave Meltzer, McMahon has reached out to WWE in the past, going on to say, quote, I know that Shane McMahon has looked to get back in WWE. I know that the people in charge of WWE have no interest in him. Could that change with the idea that he'd be willing to go to AEW? Maybe, maybe not. Would he really be willing to go to AEW? I don't know where his mind is. As for WWE's reaction to the photo of Tony Khan and Shane McMahon being shared, it was reported that a longtime employee of the company said, quote, Shane's as smart as they come. Taking a preliminary meeting doesn't surprise anyone here, end quote.
So here I am on Saturday Night Collision. I have bought AEW.
That would be a little crazy. I mean, with the way wrestling has went in 2024, I would not be shocked in the least. But I will say this. I think, this is just my opinions, and I sent this in a text earlier this week when it happened. I think it was deliberately leaked.
Yeah.
Because, and this is just my thought process behind it. They were able to keep Bryan Danielson quiet. They were able to keep Adam Cole quiet. Edge was sort of, Adam Copeland, he was sort of teased. Like, it was, some people had speculation that he may, but nobody knew for sure. Nothing was leaked out about it. And now, all of a sudden, this photo just gets leaked out to the public. Why? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's for, who it's going out to help.
Yeah.
But I think that there was some deliberate leaking in this.
The funny thing is, they don't know who leaked it, but I mean, Tony and Shane obviously, they were looking at the camera.
Yeah.
So they could come clean with it. I mean, but they haven't.
Yeah. I mean, and what was it? Was it Mercedes Moné that like?
Yeah, she jokingly claimed it.
She said that she did it, but it most likely was not her. But I'd say in a way it could have been, because wasn't there the report that her and Shane were seen talking at like an airport or something?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there maybe is some type of correlation there, but
she might have got him hooked up.
She may have. Yeah. I mean, that is a strong possibility. I've really been thinking a little bit more about this whole Shane McMahon possibly going to AEW thing. And this is what I will say about the whole deal. One of two things is either going to happen. It's either going to be really good or really bad. Because, and the reason why I'm saying really good is because Shane McMahon does have the foresight for how the wrestling business is going to go. Look at Raw Underground. Look at, he pretty much had the pitch of ECW being an internet show before, the likes of like NXT and them and whatnot.
The WWE Network.
The WWE Network and all of that. He tried to convince his dad to buy the UFC before the UFC exploded. So Shane is a very smart businessman. He is a very intelligent man.
Yeah.
But here's the caveat. Look at how it ended with WWE. Allegedly, his ego got in the way. There was the whole Royal Rumble deal where he wanted to look as strong as possible. But then again, that was when Vince was still there. Yeah. So there was some friction between those two. Shane is allegedly not very fond of Triple H and Stephanie. And I think the feelings are somewhat mutual. I think it's more or less in a business sense. That there is some friction between the two. So if Shane were to join AEW, like I said, I think it's going to be either really good because they need somebody like that there.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be really bad and it's going to keep tanking.
I would say, I mean, it would be cool to see him in an AEW ring wrestling just for the heck of it, right? But I would probably say just keep him out of an actual wrestling ring. Maybe make him like an on-screen general manager or something.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I would not put him in the ring.
Yeah.
Only, and if you do it only on special occasions, here and there. But I wouldn't make him a full-time in-ring competitor. Yeah. I would definitely put him behind the scenes on the business side and even get to the point to where he would be helping Tony with all of the booking that he does between Dynamite, Collision, Rampage, and Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and speaking of Ring of Honor, Tony Khan said it would be probably benefit Ring of Honor if he rebranded as AEW ROH.
Pretty much, exactly. Yeah. Just like NXT is with WWE.
Mm-hmm. That came from Tony's mouth too.
Yeah.
Which is like, we'll do it.
I mean, that's kind of how Ring of Honor is looked at now.
Yeah.
It is looked at as AEW's NXT, pretty much. I think it would benefit it a lot more.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We will figure that out as more of these discussions go on about their TV deal. And speaking of their TV deal, per Fightful Select, Sean Ross Sapp has learned via WBD sources that the exclusive negotiating window with All Elite Wrestling and WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, ended this past week. They have not learned if a new deal has been reached between the two sides, but the conversations were ongoing over the past week. In addition to talks continuing over the last week or so, Fightful Select broke news quite a while back that Tony Khan and David Zaslav were set to meet in Paris during the Olympics. Both Kahn and WBD sources have confirmed this as of late, and we're told that that is set for this weekend. I'm assuming this past weekend. So
yeah, probably.
Basically, what that is saying is, so they had a deadline in their negotiatings where AEW had to exclusively negotiate with Warner Brothers Discovery. They couldn't negotiate with anybody else.
Yeah.
Now that exclusivity is expired, AEW now
They can talk to other people.
They can talk to whoever they want now. And I was kind of bouncing some networks around in my head. Part of me doesn't see Fox doing it.
Yeah.
Because Fox is already kind of stepping out of the wrestling business now with them not renewing the contract with SmackDown.
And plus with recent, if you've seen on SmackDown, they were always censoring, blacking out the feed whenever, the crowd chants something.
Exactly.
So, and there's a lot of that in AEW.
Yeah, there's a lot more of that in AEW. And, Turner and them, Warner Brothers, they tend to be a little more lenient with them on that. I sat there, I thought maybe ABC, but I don't see ABC doing something like that. Maybe, but it would be a toss-up.
Yeah.
ABC is, of course, they are owned by Disney, and Disney likes to be a little squeaky clean.
And Disney already has a thing with WWE in other countries because the WWE Network in like India and Philippines, it's actually on Disney Plus there.
Yeah. So that wouldn't work out. And then I sat there and thought NBC, but NBC is they already have the thing with Peacock and everything with WWE, and then
they're going to have SmackDown for like next 5 years.
Yeah, on one of their networks. Yeah, on the USA Network. So I don't know what network they could actually talk to. Off the top of my head, I can't think of one.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know which big time network. Now, the reason why, probably, and this is just pure speculation, why the exclusivity.
Spike TV.
Maybe go back to the roots.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why I think that the negotiating window has expired, Warner Brothers Discovery has sort of their hands full right now between this negotiating with AEW and then also everything that's going on with the NBA at the moment.
So didn't they lose it or whatever?
So the NBA, I can't remember who it was with. There was another network that was going to be picking them up.
Didn't Amazon?
I think it may have been Amazon. I think it was like $11 billion or something like that. Well, Turner and them tried to match it.
Yeah.
And tried to, I guess, in a way, block it and all of this. Now there's some legalities that are going to go into it and possibly some suing and, court fees and all this other stuff and possibly a settlement out of the deal. Don't know. Pure speculation.
Yeah.
But I would say that right there, even though it may not seem like, on face value that it is affecting these negotiating talks, I think it is definitely it is definitely playing a role backstage, especially because the NBA for TNT and them is, that's huge for Turner and them. I think it's Inside NBA, the show with Charles Barkley and Shaq and all of them, hugely popular with basketball fans. That is not going to happen allegedly anymore. That's going to go over to the new network, and it's just a big mess between the two.
Yeah.
And who knows? Also, maybe Warner Brothers is like, hey, we kind of want to step out of the sports stuff for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then they also have the thing. I think they have, what is it, with NASCAR next year. they're going to have 4 races on TNT. So I don't know. It's kind of all over the place. I'm not an expert on this. This is just pure speculation. So, but speaking of AEW, WWE, and all of that, we talked last week, and we've talked before on the show about.
We fantasy booked.
We did. We straight up fantasy booked the entire Super Show.
You're welcome.
Yes, exactly. We have predictions on this show, not just predictions for the pay-per-views, which we will get to that in the next segment. But we were sort of calling this.
Yeah.
So we went ahead and fantasy booked our own Super Show, and then a couple weeks.
We called it before they called it. We're the dudes. Describe this, that, blah. Yeah.
Yeah. They're listening to us. So last week we were talking about how Tony Khan talked about wanting to possibly, said that it would be interesting to do a Super Show with WWE.
Yeah.
WWE sort of has a response to that now. After being asked by Richard Deitch on the Sports Media Podcast about working with AEW to do a combined card, Chris Legentil.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
He's like the talent relations guy or whatever.
Yeah, he is. He's part of like all of the talent relations. I think he's also
for WWE. That is.
Yeah, for WWE. I think he's also part of their communications department, et cetera, et cetera. He said, "quote No interest. There's no shot there that's being fired. It's just to say the answer to your question is that no conversation has been had in relation to that." So pretty much, the way I am taking that quote is. There hasn't been no talks about that.
Yeah.
Like he goes further into the interview to say that there is great talent outside of WWE. They haven't talked about the possibility of doing a show like that.
I feel like someone's going to have to reach out for there to be a real conversation.
Yeah, I think so. Now, some people are listening to this and are like, "Oh, Jeff, there's no possibility that that's ever going to happen." They've probably been saying that to us for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Again, Jesse Ventura was able to come back to WWE. So I think that there is a strong possibility that this could happen. Well, I think it's a possibility. Maybe not a strong possibility, but a possibility nonetheless.
I mean, look at the relationship between WWE and TNA. Who would have thought that would have ever happened?
Exactly. And I will say this, okay? The tribalistic fans online that tend to get a little offensive about their sides. I feel like if this does happen, their heads is just going to explode. Like it's going to short circuit what how their brains wired up and everything. And hopefully, this is coming from somebody who did get a little tribalistic at one point.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can realize that there's good wrestling out there, and you don't have to stick with just one company. If you prefer WWE, fine. If you prefer AEW, fine. If you prefer New Japan, TNA, GCW, I mean, there's a whole underground sort of deal with wrestling fans for death matches. They love death matches over anything else. Fine, whatever. That is what you want to listen to. But I think for the sake of business, for the sake of just how this friction has been between the two sides, I think it would be rather interesting, and I think it would be good for everybody if they were able to pull something like that off.
Honestly, with this, if Shane McMahon does go to AEW, he might be able to help that conversation.
That's true. I think, again, this goes back to Shane has the ability to have the foresight on this type of stuff. So maybe he could see that. Maybe he could, in turn talk to his sister, Stephanie, and in turn she could talk to Triple H and then Nick Kahn and et cetera, et cetera. I think that will also hang on how this TV deal goes for them.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to wait and see. It seems like to me that both sides are they're still positive.
Yeah.
Like they're still they're still kind of happy with how things are going, and that there's a good possibility that they will have their TV deal renewed. I just think that maybe with everything that's going on with the NBA, that Warner Brothers has had to put their resources elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, and actually, last little bit before we take the break and we go ahead and we start talking SummerSlam, that was last night. Very good show, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll give more thoughts on that. Just to give you an update on the G1 Climax right now, Block A is led by Evil with 10 points, followed by Zack Sabre Jr. with 8. After that, Gabe Kidd, Shota Shota Umino, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito, and Sonata all with 6 points. Callum Newman with 4, Great-O-Khan with 4, and Jake Lee also with 4. On the B block side, we have David Finlay and Jeff Cobb both tied at the top with 8 points apiece. After that, we have Hanari, Ren Narita, Konosuke Takeshita, Yuya Umaru. I'm horrible with names sometimes. Umaru, something like that. Hiroki Goto and Yota Tsuji all with 6 points. Bolton, Oleg, and El Phantasmo both with 4 points. After that, they are at the midpoint right now with the G1 Climax. They have some shows coming up this week, but we will discuss those once we get to the main event. And we're going to go ahead and stop it right there. We're going to go ahead and take our first break. And when we come back, we will have our review of SummerSlam, talk predictions, and whatnot, and just our general thoughts on the entire show. So stay tuned.
It's time for more of the Grill Out. Here's Hollywood Jeff Petty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grill Out. I'm your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty, and I'm joined by Josh Cole. Baby.
That's right.
Yep.
I'm here.
Yes, he has arrived. Last night.
The champ is here.
I was getting ready to get to that because I went ahead and stooped to Jason's level, and I shouldn't have done that. Last night, actually, WWE had their SummerSlam PLE out of the Cleveland Browns Stadium.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good show.
Yes,
I thought it was a very good show. Just to go ahead and get the predictions.
It was nice to watch a show at a normal time here in America, where it belongs.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say get ready for the end of the month because they're going to be in Berlin.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and get the predictions out of the way. Again, I went ahead and stooped to Jason's level. By the way, last week, I know that as the show was ending, he in a distance said, you're not on my level, which the truth is I wasn't. I didn't. At that point, I hadn't stooped as low as he did, but I went ahead and anyway. So we both stooped to a new low, and now Josh is the champion.
I am levels above both of you.
Now we just got to get the belt.
God mode now.
Now we just got to get the belt from Jason.
The chief is back.
Now we just have to get the belt from Jason.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know where he's at. He's at an undisclosed location somewhere. I ain't got a clue. He ain't. He's all we got was I won't be in for 2 weeks. So
yeah.
He's somewhere out there. Somewhere out there.
He's on a journey.
Yes, he is. But like I said, SummerSlam was last night. Went ahead and
that 3-hour pre-show. Good Lord,
they had a 3-hour pre-show.
They did.
Oh, I did. Okay, so I watched a replay on it. I didn't get a chance to watch it the night it happened.
Yeah.
I actually just got done watching it. What time is it? About an hour and a half ago. But almost 2 hours ago. I just finished watching the entire PLE. I didn't know they did a 3-hour pre-show.
Yeah.
Did it start at 4:00?
It did.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it was to go against Collision. It had to be.
Petty stuff.
Collision was at 5:00.
Yeah. That's just petty stuff. Yeah. Listen, my last name's Petty, and I don't even appreciate that kind of pettiness.
Which doesn't make entire sense because usually the pre-shows are 2 hours, so it would have went against anyways.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Did you watch any of the pre-show?
No. I caught like the end of it just before Survivor Series came on, or SummerSlam came on.
Wrong. I was going to say wrong. Big Five.
Yeah.
So
that has been announced though.
Oh well.
Finally.
Yeah. Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Canada?
It's going to be in Canada.
Vancouver. Yep.
Okay.
Rogers Arena.
Get ready, Ryan Reynolds.
Again.
What is it?
War Games again.
All right. Well, I think War Games has to go with Survivor Series now. They kind of go hand in hand together. And also, without War Games, I mean, what is Survivor Series? Just
Survivor Series?
I mean, it's Survivor Series, but it's a 10-person elimination tag.
You know what I think they should do? Combine the Survivor Series elimination match with the War Games match.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So you have the elimination style in the War Games, but maybe get rid of the staggered entrance of the War Games.
Yeah.
Reduce the time a little bit.
Possibly. Just kind of go ahead and have... Well, then again, if they're in a cage, is there even a point in having a tag at that point?
Well, no, you just eliminate which way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess you could do it like a tornado tag deal. And
exactly.
then, just do an entire elimination. Could be. But yeah, like Survivor Series back when it was first introduced was, a little groundbreaking, but that was also then. And I'm not trying to diss Survivor Series, but like, come on, out of the big five, and we're talking.
Vince actually tried to get rid of it one year.
I did hear about that.
Back in 2010, and fans backlashed on it,
which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Vince. But when I'm talking Big Five, I'm talking WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Money in the Bank now.
Yep.
That's considered a Big Five event. And, of course, Survivor Series.
Yep.
WrestleMania, it's Mania. It's never going to go anywhere. Yeah. SummerSlam is basically the halfway point throughout the year. It is the summer's version of WrestleMania, sort of the second biggest show. The Royal Rumble has implications for WrestleMania, and then Money in the Bank has implications for the entire year.
Yeah.
Whereas Survivor Series...
it's just there.
It's just kind of there. I mean, there's not really... I mean, you could book it to where it does have implications, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean...
yeah.
And
one thing about Money in the Bank, I kind of view it now as almost the... so, like, Royal Rumble is to WrestleMania. I view Money in the Bank as to, like, SummerSlam. Kind of like the Summer Rumble.
Sort of.
Its contract can be used anytime.
Yeah, but sort of. But I think what's going to happen... This is just my thought. King of the Ring is going to be that. Because SummerSlam last night, it's now being, whoever wins King and Queen of the Ring, they automatically get a shot at
assuming
SummerSlam.
They have it next year, which I hope they do.
Yes, I hope to do, and at that point, it may actually get bumped up to a Big Six.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean, a conversation could be had that Elimination Chamber could be a Big Six because it has WrestleMania implications to it as well.
True.
But it's more of like the leftover from Royal Rumble.
It is. Elimination Chamber has sort of taken that No Way Out.
Yeah. Well, it did replace it technically.
Yeah, it did replace it, but it has, like, No Way Out was that pay-per-view in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. At that point, I guess it depends on which point in time you look at it, but it was mainly a SmackDown pay-per-view, so, it was, to build towards WrestleMania. But anyway, just to get off that topic and just to get back...
mention one thing. I think they should move Money in the Bank to June instead of being 1 month before SummerSlam.
True.
Because 2 Big Fives back-to-back is kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe June or May.
Well, then you have WrestleMania Money in the Bank.
Oh, that's true, because they are moving it up. Yeah. So it's not... Okay. Yeah, June will actually be a good time because that gives you a couple months in between every big pay-per-view, big PLE. But speaking of big PLEs...
Jelly rolling right into SummerSlam.
Exactly. So Jelly Roll, I like Jelly Roll. Okay, I enjoy them. I'm not that old, but sometimes the celebrities they get on the shows, I can care less about. Like Hardy, can care less about them.
I liked the song that Hardy did for the Rumble, but his performance just sucked.
It just
I don't know if it was a sound issue or what, but it wasn't great.
It wasn't. But Jelly Roll,
his was good.
His was good. I enjoy the simple stage.
Yeah, I also want to say I like that they went ahead and got the music performance out of the way.
True.
They did the America Beautiful, then he went right into his song and he was done. Other than a little bit later.
Yeah, I don't like a mini concert in the middle of the show. I mean, because I guess, like, if you're at home, that's usually when I go and use the bathroom and do what else I got to do, get something to eat, pour some, get me some pop or whatever. But I do like how they started off with that.
I just had a thought. What if they do this as like a halftime, like football?
What, like the mini concert?
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically it's basically intermission is what it is.
But have them do, like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 songs. I don't know.
I mean... It depends on time.
Yeah.
It kind of comes down to that. But like I said, I do like the simple stage. I did like the setup. I like I like the idea of saving the bigger stages for WrestleMania and the other shows. Either if it's like Backlash or something, they just have the regular SmackDown and Raw stage, and then stadium shows like this, like SummerSlam.
With like Backlash and them going international, they always tone it down so they can feel that stadium or arena.
Exactly. But I feel like there's. I just feel like there's a little bit more of an intimacy with it, just with having the simple stage, the smaller stage, and then the walkway and everything. Yeah. I like that. The opening match was excellent.
Yeah.
I thought it was very good. Predictable. We called it.
I called it.
Well, us collectively on the show. But no, not just there, but also online. I saw a lot of people saying, okay, no, this is exactly how this is about to go. Did not realize it was going to go the way it did. But I did like how I did think it was an excellent opening match.
We're unfortunately not getting that Dominic on a ladder match or whatever.
No, we're not going to get a custody of Dom.
Custody.
Yeah, which I really wanted. I just wanted Dominic Mysterio to be the only person in WWE history to have a custody battle at SummerSlam twice.
All I can say is, if we ever thought Rhea Ripley was really bad, I think we're going to see absolute craziness now.
Yeah. And also, I mean, and later on the show, and we'll get to it, there's straight up an implosion going on with Judgment Day. Like, there was this, and then there was the Damian Priest and Finn Balor thing later on in the show.
So is Carlito the leader now?
I don't know. Is he?
I don't know.
I don't think Carlito didn't even know if he's the leader.
Yeah.
I don't know on that one, but I did think it was an excellent opening match. I liked all her working her shoulder and everything, and then popping it in. I thought it looked kind of weird because, like, it just, to me, it didn't look entirely dislocated. I could tell. I will say
the way she had it angled, it looked like there's like a little, I don't know.
There's a little bump at the top. I did see that, but
I think the second pop in thing was a little unnecessary, but.
Yeah,
when she did it in the corner.
Yeah, but when she did it off the announce table, I mean, that was kind of gnarly.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. The Sami Zayn Braun Breaker match, short and sweet, and it's good that Braun Breaker is able to now hold some gold.
Yeah,
and I do have
a
question.
On the main roster.
Yeah. Yes, he's able. This is his first title on the main roster, and I do have a question. Would you rather take a spear from Braun Breaker or a chop from Gunther?
I'm going to say a chop from Gunther.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to take a 23-mile-an-hour spear from Braun Breaker?
Nope. You know the funny thing about Braun? He's big, but he's kind of short.
Yeah.
So
he's stocky.
It doesn't make him look big. So it's a weird conundrum.
It's also interesting because he is not as big as his dad and uncle were. Like, his dad and uncle both were just massive in the ring, and shouldn't have been that agile.
Yeah.
But no, I think that yes. I think it was a short match, short and sweet, to the point. It's still crazy to me that Braun Breaker hits the ropes as hard as he does. But yes, goes ahead, spears Sammy, 1, 2, 3, new IC champion.
Yeah.
Moving on to Logan Paul and LA Knight.
Yeah.
Cleveland doesn't even want Logan Paul. Like, he was getting booed as soon as he came through the door. Now, some of that I think is, and it's not we're not going to go into it, but there's the sort of controversy with the Olympics and everything with some of his comments there. That's not the only. I'll say this. That's not the only controversy surrounding him at the moment. He's not very much liked amongst people. But Cleveland doesn't even want Logan Paul. Also, is MGK going back to rap? Is he switching genres again? Because
did he switch genres?
I don't know. I'm just saying the way he looked. He did not look like this whole punk rock thing that he's been doing the past few years.
I've never solidified him to one genre. I thought it was kind of like a mix.
Sort of, yeah. He was like more rap, more hip hop. Then here recently he went to a more punk rock type deal. Just the way he looked, I don't know. I just felt like it was interesting, and plus, I don't know, the aura between both of them kind of. It doesn't shock me that MGK walked out with Logan Paul. I did
Apparently he's also from Cleveland. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until they said it on commentary. Which, by the way, commentary was good.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee, it's going to be real fun when they get to Netflix.
Yeah.
And they just kind of
well, he might not be there at the start.
He may not be because of college football, but college football typically ends in January. So the first few episodes he may not be there.
Yeah.
And then once February comes around, probably around the Rumble, that's when we're going to see Pat McAfee come back. But I did like how LA Knight came back with Logan Paul's vehicle after taking it the night before at SmackDown, breaks the window. But I would have liked it better if it was totally trashed.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I was sitting there thinking about that. I was like, it would have been better if the bumper and everything was falling off of it, and there was a couple, the thing, it was just got dents all over. But I'm sitting there thinking like, Logan Paul probably don't want them like tearing his vehicle up like that.
Yeah.
The first little stab at the window kind of veered off. And then then LA Knight was able to break the window entirely.
I had a Goldberg incident there.
Yes, sort of. Almost did, except he had a pipe instead of his actual fist. Logan Paul, I will still say this. Logan Paul is, he's a natural in the ring. That springboard from the top
best
rope.
Celebrity turned wrestler. I mean, so much so that you can just call him a wrestler.
Exactly. I mean, he just seems like he's very comfortable in the ring. But
I think he has a background in amateur wrestling too.
He does. Both him and his brother both have a background in that. I think they both went to college for that. They both were amateur wrestlers in college. But LA Knight finally has some gold.
Main roster.
Yep, main roster. But it's
granted his NXT one was the $1 Million Championship. So
yeah, because I had to double check.
Yeah,
I was sitting there. I was like, is this his first title? I did see the $1 Million Championship thing. And I was like, okay. And then by the time I was sitting there reading it, that's when Michael Cole was like, this is LA Knight's first title on the main roster and all of that. So, yeah. Moving on from that, Nia Jax, to me, she has significantly improved in the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not botching as much as she was. I don't think that she is, and I'm not throwing shade or anything like that. I'm not Jason and have this burning hatred for Nia Jax. I do feel like he hates Tyrus a little more.
Yeah.
But Nia Jax, she does not seem as clumsy in the ring as she has been before.
I feel like she's much more in tune to her character now than she was in the past.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I never really bought into her character before, but now I feel that she's really this, villain or whatever.
Yeah, and then the ending with Tiffany Stratton coming out, I was sitting there, I was like, oh, okay, she's going to cash in, and then Bayley hits Tiffany, and then Nia takes advantage of this opportunity. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, did Nia realize what just happened? And then I sit there and thought, I was like, okay, no, I bet you this was all just part of the plan.
Yeah.
Like, because she was sitting there, I was going back and watching the replay. She knew Tiffany Stratton was there. She knew she was about to cash in and everything. And there was no animosity afterwards. So, I think that was all in the plan.
Yeah, it does make me wonder, does she decide to go for Nia at some point? Or does she say screw it and just go over to Monday Night Raw and take that title? Go for that title.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would. That's interesting. I don't think that Liv and Rhea are done.
No,
they're not done with one another. Now, is that with the title on the line? Does Tiffany come over, sort of go ahead and take that title out of the picture to where it's just pretty much a grudge match between the two of them?
Yeah, I mean, granted, Tiffany could hold that for like months. So
yeah,
she just won it last month.
Yeah. So she's still got, which I like. I don't like, and I said it before when we talked Money in the Bank. It's okay to go ahead and have them cash it in. I like it when somebody holds the title for a while. Mm-hmm. It's just that looming threat is always there.
Yeah.
But again, I feel like Nia has significantly improved in the ring, and I did enjoy the ending to that match.
Yeah. Moving
on to Drew McIntyre and CM Punk with Seth Rollins as the special guest referee. The hatred Drew McIntyre has for CM Punk could power a small village. That man has such a burning, like in kayfabe terms, has such a burning hatred for CM Punk that it's just funny.
Yeah.
Just funny how much he hates him. And I think also with just how polarizing Punk he was polarizing before, but just how polarizing he has become, I think it's very smart to take that and interwoven it.
Yeah.
Just pretty much bring it into this feud through Drew McIntyre. Excellent match and great use of the dynamic between the competitors and the special guest referee.
Yeah.
And all of that. CM Punk pretty much cost himself that match.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best way you can put that. I mean, that was pretty much how commentary put it.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised that he lost his first televised singles match, but I mean, if there's a way to do it, there you are.
and also, I'm not saying this to be facetious or anything. I'm glad he didn't get injured.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about that. I was like, man, if he goes out there and he gets injured again, like, just that's it. Yeah. That's just it at that point. Just quit doing it. But I'm glad he didn't get injured. I do like how, I do enjoy Seth Rollins, how flamboyant he is. And some of the memes that have come out of this, you've seen, CM Punk saying to Drew McIntyre, I hate you. And then Drew McIntyre going, I hate you even more. And then Seth Rollins over there like, my outfit is going to be great. So very much enjoy that. I'm interested to see where this is going to go from there.
Hell in a Cell at the Bad Blood.
Possibly. Bad Blood, didn't it already sell out?
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah, I think it did.
Or very close.
Yeah, or it's really close. I think it did sell out though.
Tell you what else sold out, but we'll get there in a minute.
Yeah, we will get there in one moment. But yes, I feel like the grudge match between the two. Yeah. CM Punk's anger got the best of him there. His frustrations with Seth Rollins, because it wasn't really Rollins' fault. With how slow the counts were, and like he's kind of just getting thrown around in there, and then CM Punk is just imploding a little bit. But again, I think that Drew McIntyre's hatred for him could power a small village. Moving on, like what we said earlier in the segment, the Judgment Day is imploding. And hopefully, in my opinion, this leads to Finn Balor being taken way more serious than he has been. Yeah. And I'm hoping it leads to the return of Damon Balor.
Yeah.
There was the match between Damian Priest and Gunther.
We have a smart babyface who actually looks at the video to see the replay.
I know.
CM Punk takes some notes.
Yeah, exactly.
He would have saw Seth not really doing anything, he just picked it up, the bracelet.
Oh yeah. Which this was like really the only unexpected thing on the show. I didn't see Finn turning the way he did. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that there was something in there that was unexpected.
Some speculation about it, because there's been speculation that Finn has not actually truly been Judgment Day this whole time. Because if you look back, he actually teamed with Liv Morgan before he joined Judgment Day. Oh, really? Against the Judgment Day.
Oh wow, I completely forgot about that. Okay.
So
but so Damian Priest, he goes for the cover on Gunther. Finn Balor grabs Gunther's leg, throws it on the rope. Priest does not see it right away. He, like what Josh said, he's a smart babyface. He looks, he sees the replay with everybody else, and just like with CM Punk, his frustration, his anger gets in the way. He gets off focus. He goes after Finn, and then Gunther just does what Gunther does, and now finally Gunther has a world title.
The forever champion. That's what I call Gunther.
Yeah, yes.
Because if you look at his WWE career, it's like 80-20% split of when he's been champion and not been champion.
Wow.
I don't know if that's exact percentage, but I mean, it's basically
well, yeah, because he was UK champion for a while.
Yeah, he came into NXT UK, won the title like right off the bat, held that title for like 800 days.
Yeah.
Longest reigning UK champion.
Pretty much 2.5 years.
Yeah. Then after he lost the title, he went to main NXT, was only there for a short bit, came to main roster in 22, won the IC title, held that for nearly 2 years.
Yep.
And here we are.
Yep, lost the title to Sammy. Pretty much has been on a winning streak ever since then, and has now taken over Priest. I'll say this: I enjoyed Priest's run with title.
Yeah.
I feel like, and we've said it before on the show, that Priest's run with the title has been better than Cody's run.
Yeah.
I did not think it should have went any further than SummerSlam. I think this was the right time to make the call to take the belt off of him and throw it on Gunther. Now, how long does Gunther hold the title? I don't know.
Yeah.
Judging by the history with him and what you just said with him with the UK title and the IC title, he's probably going to be holding it for quite a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that, to me, I think that's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
After that, The Miz and R-Truth come out to announce the attendance record, because you can't have a WWE PLE without announcing attendance record somewhere.
Especially a Big Five. It always has to be a Big Five.
It always has to be. It's kind of funny because earlier in the show, Michael Cole says that they had like 50-some thousand people there, and then they announced that it's 57-some thousand, and then later on, Arn Anderson, we get a wild Arn Anderson pop up. He talks about that there's 54,000 people out there, so the numbers kind of going all over the place. But again, you can't.
The numbers don't lie.
Yeah, they don't. Go ask WrestleMania 3.
I'm glad that they specified American attendance, because the biggest SummerSlam is actually 92 Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
Original Wembley Stadium.
Jelly Roll did an amazing choke slam.
Yeah.
On Austin Theory.
I mean, granted, Austin probably took all the work there, but
Yeah, but it just, I don't know.
It looked good.
It did. It looked real good.
Yeah.
For somebody that has never been in the wrestling ring, I thought it was good. Plus, also, I just like Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
But
he's got an okay song with Fog in Reverse.
He does. Yeah. But so we get to the main event: Cody versus Solo Sikoa in Bloodline Rules for the undisputed WWE Championship. To me, this was Cody's best match since becoming champion.
Yeah.
We've talked on the show and said that we felt like his run has gotten a little cold.
Yeah.
And I think this right here just kind of relit it a little bit. I mean, everybody was showing up. You had God, you had Jacob Fatu showing up, you had Kevin Owens and Randy Orton coming out to even the odds.
I was surprised about them because they were supposed to be like injured or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
When Arn randomly popped up, I was surprised.
A wild Arn Anderson.
I almost thought like, are we getting Ricky Starks or someone like that?
I don't. It was. When he said you have other friends, I did feel like he was alluding to Roman.
Yeah.
Because we did get Roman Reigns' return. It was heavily speculated going into this event that Roman Reigns was going to return. It's so much so that I even mentioned it on Hotline this past week. Roman Reigns comes back, pretty much evens the odds, puts Solo Sikoa sort of in his place. Has new merch, says OTC Original Tribal Chief.
Yeah. And speaking of the sales, they had a custom title for him, sold out in an hour.
Wow.
And those things were $600.
Wow.
They made 1,316 of them to commemorate how long his reign was.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This pretty much just kicks off the Bloodline Civil War.
And his theme music, they used his WrestleMania Night 2 one from this year.
Yeah, I was sitting there, I was listening because I was watching it on my computer and I was leaning forward. I was like, is this really his? I was like, oh, no, this ain't the original one.
Yeah, it threw me off for a second when it first played. I was like, wait a second. And I was like, oh, okay. They're using the WrestleMania version, the epic orchestral version.
So maybe this is like his face theme.
Yeah,
or whatever. Because
face version.
That's the best way I could put it. There is speculation though that Jacob Fatu was injured in this match when he did jump to the outside onto the announcer table on the Cody. It looked like he hit his right leg
when
coming
they did
down.
The replay, it didn't look like it hit bad, like it would have gotten injured. It looked like a normal hit, basically.
Yeah, but sometimes when it looks normal, it's not, because so there was, according to some reports, Jacob Fatu had to be helped to the back and could not put any weight on his right leg. He was also spotted after SummerSlam wearing a boot.
Yeah, someone posted a picture of, like on IG or something.
Yeah, it said Roman Reigns were coming for you or whatever, and it's just him.
He might have just been selling, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. But that is what some reports are. That's, until we get some confirmation on that, which will probably be at Monday Night Raw.
I saw a great tweet on the X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. Mm-hmm. It's Bloodline Rules. Arn, give him the Glock.
Yeah, exactly. But so Cody, through the help of Roman Reigns, was able to retain his title, closes the show out and everything. My final thoughts on the show: it was great from top to bottom. Mm-hmm. I thought it was well paced. It was predictable, but that's not a bad thing.
No.
Some people hate predictability.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it is a good thing to have some type of predictability because, yes, you could have a swerve, but you shouldn't have a swerve for the sake of having it.
Yeah.
I feel like the Finn thing, like I said, I was not expecting that on my part. I felt like that was, to me, acceptable. That was okay. But other than that, thumbs up from me for SummerSlam.
Good old Uncle Dave had a couple comments. He said it was a good show. He's like, yeah, it was predictable but I mean, if it's predictable, then it was probably good.
Yeah.
But he had a weird comment that's saying, if you were looking for great wrestling, this was not a good show. I'm like, what? I thought the wrestling's pretty fine.
I thought the wrestling was good on it.
Yeah.
I thought the like I said, the opening match was excellent. Yeah. You did have a couple like Braun Breaker that was short. You did have LA Knight and Logan Paul that didn't really have, but those matches didn't need that.
Yeah, he called this an angle show.
Yeah, I did see his comments on it, which I guess there is some truth to that. because this is moving us to the next thing, which will be Survivor Series. That's the next big PLE. I mean, I know we have Bash in Berlin at the end of this month.
Yep.
Which, by the way, that entire week is going to be interesting because you have AEW's All In that Sunday, and then the Saturday at the end of the week, WWE is going to be in Germany. So two of the biggest wrestling promotions in America are going to be in Europe around the same time.
Yeah, I guess Bash in Berlin is going to kind of be considered the September pay-per-view, even though it's in August, because I don't think they have one in September or PLE.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah. But anyway, that's going to stop it right there.
I'm the champion.
Yes, Josh is the predictions champion.
That's right, Jason. I want my 10 ounces of plastic replaced with my 10 pounds of awesome.
Yeah, exactly. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to end it there. When we come back, we will have On This Day in Wrestling History and the main event.
Once again, here's Hollywood Jeff Petty.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Grill Out. I'm your host, Hollywood Jeff Petty, and I'm joined by the current Grill Out.
That's right.
Predictions heavyweight champion.
Yeah, no
Josh
weight divisions, but we're here.
What is it?
No weight divisions, but we're here.
No, we don't have weight divisions, but I just keep adding to the title.
It's a world championship of predictions here in West Virginia only.
Yeah, in West Virginia only.
Thanks, Australia.
Wrestle Talk, we're coming for you. On this day in wrestling history. August 4th, 1995, WCW's Collision in Korea event.
It was huge.
It was huge. Event aired for the first time in the UK, taped in North Korea in April. The two-day event had a highly disputed cumulative attendance of 340,000 people over the 2 nights. If true, this would make these two the highest attended wrestling events ever in history. The broadcast was headlined by Antonio Inoki defeating Ric Flair.
It was forced attendance, though, for the most part.
Yeah, that's why it's highly it's a little disputed.
Yeah,
those people. Yeah, that's a whole other thing that we could talk about one day. August 4th, 1997, on the 100th episode of Monday Nitro, Lex Luger defeated Hollywood Hulk Hogan, no relation, to win the WCW World Heavyweight title and ended the NWO leader's near year-long reign. Luger's run with the title would not last long. He didn't. He dropped it back to Hogan 5 days later, because that ain't going to work for me, brother. Much love, HH. At the WCW Road Wild pay-per-view. It was the second and final world title reign for the total package.
I always liked Road Wild.
Yeah, I always thought that was I never watched it until a few years ago. I saw it on the WWE Network, Peacock, whatever. And I never knew that it was it's kind of a cool event.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, just last segment for the show. We have the main event. This is where we go ahead and let you know what your next week of professional wrestling is going to look like nationally, internationally, and locally. Just to go ahead and get nationally and internationally out of the way. Pretty much your regularly scheduled programming with Monday Night Raw and NXT and all of that. But August 6th, this upcoming Tuesday for NXT, it is their Great American Bash.
Week 2.
Yes, night 2 on that. That will be on the Sci-Fi Network along with Monday Night Raw. This will be the last week. They will be on Sci-Fi starting next week. They will go back to the USA Network.
For a short little bit.
Yes. Because they are getting ready to go over to...
well, actually, no, Raw will stay on until the end of the year, but NXT will go to CW.
Yeah.
The channel, not the app, because NWA is on the app.
Yeah. So that will be August 1st. They'll do that. And then September 17th, I think, 4 weeks from this Friday, SmackDown will be debuting on USA Network. Yep. So... we'll just keep you updated on all of that. The G1 Climax internationally for New Japan Pro Wrestling will be on August 6th, 7th, 8th, and 10th this upcoming week. We went ahead and gave you the standings on that earlier in the show if you want to go back and listen to that. Locally, this upcoming Friday, August 9th, Pro Wrestling Conquest is back in Charleston, West Virginia, presenting Stop at Nothing.
Stop at Nothing.
At the Quantum Sports Center in Canal City. There will be a meet and greet at 6:30 with a bell time of 7:30, and all adult tickets are $20. This event will see the Conquest debut of the 7-foot monster Cruel, Isaiah Broner?
Sure.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Known on the indies as The Problem. Maybe I shouldn't mispronounce his name.
Yeah.
Will also make his Conquest debut. Additionally, the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd, and Truth Magnum, who have appeared in All Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor, will be in action as well. Jake something from TNA Wrestling.
We're not mispronouncing his name. His name is Jake something.
Swear it is. The rest of the events locally will be this Saturday. Battleground Wrestling returns to action for August Attacks, located at the Fear on the Farm Haunted House in Winfield, West Virginia. Bell time is 7 o'clock, and tickets are $20, but it is very limited seating as only 100 tickets are being sold. So make sure if you are in the area and you want to go see the show, get your tickets. Mega Pro Wrestling presents Summer Sizzler Night 2 at the Marmot Recreation Center in Marmot, West Virginia. Bell time is 7:30. Ringside is $20. General admission is $15, and kids get in free with a paying adult.
Got to have an adult.
Yep, you got to do that. Like last week's Summer Sizzler Night 1, this event will again feature Daggett Bundles, who performs in Ohio Valley Wrestling and appeared in the 2023 Netflix series Wrestlers.
Which is pretty good if you haven't seen it.
Go watch it. He will be taking on Eric the Lariat Steele to determine the number one contender for the Mega Pro Championship. Real Shoot Wrestling will hold Funnel Cakes and Forearms Volume 2. I love that name.
Yeah.
Which will be 2 back-to-back shows as part of the Mannington District Farm Fair in Mannington, West Virginia. The first show is at 5:30, which will be followed by the second show at 9 o'clock. Admission to the fair is $7, while kids 11 and under get in free, and the fair admission includes access to both of Real Shoot Wrestling's events.
Yeah.
So if you go to the fair, you pay for your ticket to get into the fair, you automatically are able to attend the wrestling show.
Both of them.
Both of them. One will be at 5:30, the next one will be at 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Finally, for Saturday, August 10th, West Virginia Wrestling Federation and Mountain Mama Wrestling will be at the Richardson Building in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Bell time is 7 o'clock, and tickets are $10, while kids 5 and under get in free. This event will feature former star James Ellsworth.
WWE star.
Former WWE star James Ellsworth. He will be facing Cody Maverick with special guest referee Robert Taximan Winters. If Maverick wins, he gets a shot at the WWF Mountain State Championship, but if Ellsworth wins, then Taximan gets the title shot.
Let's go, Ellsworth.
Any man with 2 hands has a fighting chance.
That's right.
And that is all of your wrestling for this upcoming week. If you want to message us, talk to us, tell us what you think of the show, you can email us at thegrillout95@gmail.com, or you can go like the Facebook page.
That's right, Wrestle Talk. We're coming for you.
Yes, Wrestle Talk. We are
Come on,
coming
Ollie.
for you. Ollie, I'm going to be your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Ollie Davis, do you hear me? Do you understand me?
Steiner math.
Steiner math. Yes, Steiner math is better than the pipe bomb you mark. That's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. And until next time, my fellow wrestling fans, have a good one.
Goodbye, and good night, back.